What up, brothers? It's Clipper King returning for what I'm hoping is a really quick review. For the simple reason is it was only last week that I reviewed the Enterbay version 1 Kobe Bryant, and now I'm going to review the version 2 Kobe Bryant. Obviously the source material and so on and so forth will be of the same character, so I'm not going to need to beat around the bush. I'm going to tell you the differences. I'm also going to show you the differences because I've actually filmed this just before I've packaged the version 1 off, because that's sold. So there will be a scene in this video showing them both together. I don't know if that's been seen before on video, but I wanted to do that because I was interested to see it when I was looking. And also I will show you this version with me Michael Jordan and me LeBron James. So that will also be in this video. But like I say, because the packaging is very similar and the source material is the same person, I want to pretty much fly through it, get this review up so that nobody can watch it again, which is pretty much what happened to the version 1. A little bit pissed off about it, I will say, but that's how it goes. People want to see what they want to see. This is why I get confused sometimes in the community. I always feel that my fans are loyal as such, and a lot of them are. I won't tell them all with same brush, but a lot of them only want to see what they want to see, sort of thing. So they're not loyal to you, they're loyal to what he's showing you. I think that's basically it. But yeah, like I say, for my own interest and for cataloguing my figures, it's still going on the channel. If you want to skip past it, skip past it. That's your prerogative. So let's get straight in and start off with source material like I did on the version 1. Like I said, is Kobe Bryant, plays for the LA Lakers. I think he's a 5-time championship winner. I feel, and I said in the version 1, he's been the most successful player probably since Jordan. I know there's other big names being around. The more I find out, the more it sort of excites me to learn more. I do have a thirst for knowledge, and I do like knowing stuff, regardless if it's something that'll, I don't know, make any gains for me or whatever. I do like to just know things. I don't like to rest on my laurels and only know what I know. I do like to go out there and collect information, so to speak. So yeah, I have learned more and more about basketball through playing the game, the 2K14, and also through watching it on BT Sport. So I am picking more and more up and enjoying it. It's just a shame that this season is out injured, because I wanted all the superstars to be there, available. The All-Star game I watched a few weeks back, I wanted him to be playing so I could compare him. But like I said, I do watch YouTube, and I've compared him sort of through the time when Shaquille O'Neal were at the Lakers, and then going forward he's pretty much a one-man team at the moment. Coming to probably twilight of his career, might not have many more seasons in him, but the highlight stuff I've watched has been really good, and I think possibly more so than Jordan. I think he's sort of very similar to Steve Gerrard in the respect that he's pretty much carried an average team for a long time. Obviously, since Shaquille O'Neal come, because the one thing I realised is you don't really get no five superstars in NBA. You can't build an out-and-out team of superstars. You can pretty much have 2 top players or 3 top players, and then you just have sort of filler players where, like in England, people know like Man City can buy a team, Chelsea can buy a team, Man United have bought teams, and then you pretty much rest at league are picking from others, sort of thing. And it's not really like that in basketball, and I kind of like that about it because every team seems to have one star that I do like to watch. So I will just say that I have elaborated more than I wanted to, but I still stick by what I said. I think Kobe Bryant would not be an household name, possibly due to his criminal activities or that sort of thing. It might have put him in news a while where others might not have been in, but I think from a sporting base, he's not an household name like Jordan would be. Probably different in America, but I live in England, so I can only tell you what I know. So source material again, I give it for the last one, I'm going to give it again. I've given it a 3 out of 5, and I'll just talk about the pose. This is one of the things, the reasons I bought these basketball figures, because you can pretty much, basketball's a game where you can pretty much put them in any pose you can think of and it doesn't look out of place, sort of thing. I mean, for me, I could have put a Spider-Man in that pose, but it still makes sense because he's still mid-air, the stand allows that. He's still got to balance himself. He's still sort of ball first. I like what you can do with them. You're not limited to the poses you can think of, and the fact that I've got 3 of them sort of means I can either pose them together or I can pose them like for like or whatever, and that is the main reason I bought them, if I'm honest. So yeah, so that talks about the pose. Really like it, and I do like the ways that you can sort of position it and sort of cover, like pull his shorts down, it sort of disguises the knee a little bit, and then he's got the knee strap here, so you can cover that, and obviously the sleeve on here will cover sort of his wrist and his elbow. So I do like that about these figures as well, or the sort of trying to do that. But anyway, like I said, the source material I've given a 3 out of 5. I'm going to roll straight back onto packaging because it's set up. I will say, at first glance, I thought it was exactly the same as the version 1 box. That's not the case. Only difference is they've made it bigger. So it is in line with, now I believe, most the other NBA figures. So like I said before, if you wanted to display that as a backdrop with your figure like so on a shelf, with your figure in front of the jersey style box, I think it would make a really nice display, particularly if every box is the same. Like I said, the version 1 were sort of, if I compared them, it'd sort of come up to there. Like I said, they've made this box bigger, mainly because it houses the stand, so that is why. So the packaging, I do like them, I'll be honest. The artwork, I like what they're going for, although I don't know, they could have had a picture of the figure for me or a picture of the actual character, and I would have liked them as well. I do like the materials. The only thing that I don't like is the low-tack tape that covers the accessories, but I pretty much just peel that off and throw it away, forget about it. But like I say, it's not a DX box, but it is a really good quality functional box. Came really well packaged as well from Enterbay with the polystyrene and everything, so there's no damage to the box. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Right, rolling on to likeness, and I have got 2 head sculpts to cover like the first version. I will start off by saying that on the first version I massively favoured the smiling sculpt. On this one I actually prefer the non-smiling sculpt. I think both are really good again, but in all honesty, I still think the smiling head sculpt on the version 1 Kobe is the best of all 4 head sculpts you can get. I think this one is quite good looking, or looks accurate for as he is now, but if I think of Kobe sort of in my mind, I really see him from the version 1 with the smiling head. This one, it doesn't have the sort of the visible hairline like the first version, the fade. Together the heads are a slightly different shape. This one's a little bit, I don't know if I'd say squarer. Yeah, probably is squarer looking, this one, but it's not massively different, but there is notable. I would say as well, the sculpts are good on both, but the paintwork is probably more subtle and are slightly better on this one, as you would expect. Time's moved on and they have improved the techniques. So on this version, I actually prefer the game face sort of thing, or the Viper's scowl, or whatever you want to call it. I think this is more how Kobe is now. On this one, the hairline's slightly more notable, and I do like the colours, the depth in the eyes. The teeth are done really well. The lips are done really, really well. I don't know if I'm going to get much light like this, but I'll try it. The lips, sort of the cracks in the lips and the change from the lip tone to the skin tone is really good. I said before, African American skin tones, I remember reading something saying it were the hardest to get because they pretty much go for a colour that's, I don't want to sound racist by saying this, but they normally go for a colour that's too chocolatey looking, like a milk chocolate colour, which is not, it's not a flat colour. And Enterbay have done it, I think, better than probably Hot Toys have done with the African American skin tones, because there is shades of light and dark. Sort of down the nose looks like lighter, the forehead looks lighter, but then in the recesses of the face it goes into like a darker shade, and I just think the transition from one colour to another is really well done. Like I said, this one is good, but I prefer the other. And if I were asked honestly, like I've said before, of all the 4 Kobe head sculpts available, which is the best? For me, it would be the smiling sculpt on the version 1. People might say to that, well, why don't you keep that one then and send the guy who's bought it this one? And I think because I don't operate like that, I'm not a shiesty bastard. I always sell as fucking advertised, so to speak. I advertised the version 1 and he's got a complete version 1, so I would never do that. People might have said same with the outfit, why don't you keep this outfit and sell this outfit and keep the other one, make the best Kobe you could. I would never do that in a million years. I pretty much sell it as it's listed kind of thing. But yeah, the likenesses, obviously taking both into account, does help me boost it up. I'm still going to give it a 5 out of 5 because I think this one is that good and that one is only slightly worse. So I would still give them a 5 out of 5. Right, rolling on to outfit. And this is where I feel that Enterbay pretty much took the figure back, worked on everything that they didn't like about it or the complaints they did, and reworked it. The outfit is different as night and day for a couple of reasons to the version 1. This one, scale wise, is really good. The sort of the fineness of the material, the stitching, the fit, how it lays on him. I mean, at minute I've got sort of the clamp holding him so it is pushing it up, but when he's down it does sit on his shoulders correctly. Like I say, the embroidery, it's not layer on layer like the first version were. I'm going to actually go from this scene into the comparison with the first version, so hold tight for that and you will see what I mean. Again, it comes with a knee brace and the purple sleeve. This time it comes with a lot better trainers or sneakers for his American brothers. I will show as well, actually on the heel, there is the Kobe Bryant signature, which looked really good. I'm actually gonna either do myself or send to a painter I know these trainers and the LeBron James, because that would just need a grey tick there and on the inside and they'd be 100% accurate. I do like the fact that it's got a flexible lace on, a lot better than the trainers on the first version. Even, I think you can see, underneath the sole is like the Kobe Bryant sort of Viper symbol, same on the tongue. Just a lot better than the 2 pair of trainers that the first one came with. Obviously, I kept the silver Olympic trainers. Like I said, I were from the first version. They never went, but they never came standard, so I thought it was my rights to keep that. Again, transfer patches on, transfer on here, really good scale to the lettering, really nice. Downside, you know there had to be one. For me, it's the wrong colour. That is the major nitpick with it. It's sort of a washed out yellow, where I think the real yellow is a sort of a goldy orange yellow, more like sort of that. I think that is the uniform colour, whereas this is more a lemony yellow. Like I say, I'll make it clear because I'm going to go straight to showing you the version 1 and 2 together. Does it massively bother me? Not really. I would have liked it to be 100% accurate, but again, like I said in the LeBron James, I think the reds on the LeBron James are a little bit washed out as well, but I don't know if they did it because of the idea of scale or what, but I don't know. It is noticeable, but would I still say it's an improvement? The fact that you don't have to fuck about with the inside of the shoulders on this one to get it to lay flush sort of makes me prefer it to the other one, although the other one is the accurate colour. I've scored the outfit a 4 on this, and I scored the other one a 3, simply because I had to modify the other to make it look half decent. This one, like I said, the things that I do like about it, I really like. The nitpick is not a major factor to me, and like I said, the trainers are a massive improvement, so respect to Enterbay on that. They did go back and work it, and I'll mention actually in the next scene, I don't only think they just reworked and gave us the same figure. I actually think their intentions were, and I haven't heard them say this, I think what they also did is try to give us sort of a younger version of Kobe with a version 1, sort of round about the time, sort of the back end of the time he was playing with Shaquille O'Neal, and this one would be bang up to date, sort of the balder head, slightly older looking, and I think that is one of the I think that's one of the intentional things they tried to do. So you're actually getting a younger Kobe and an old, not proper young, because obviously he would have had a thicker afro, bigger hair. So a younger Kobe, and then this one would be bang up to date. I also think they did that. Like I said, I digress. On the outfit, I've given it a 4 out of 5. Right, boys and girls, short interlude. I don't normally do this mid-review. I would normally do a separate video for it. But the fact of the matter is, the version 1 has sold over the weekend, so that's getting shipped out to Germany tomorrow morning. So massive respect to the guy who bought it. I don't know if he subscribes to my channel. I don't know. Didn't make himself known, so I'm guessing. Basically, I referred to, when I was reviewing the version 1, I referred to what I know about the version 2. I'm mid-review on the version 2, and I have sort of alluded to things about the version 1 that I like or don't. So I'm basically just going to pan through and tell you the differences, because there's not much information out there about these two figures, and there's definitely no information out there about seeing them both together. Video wise, there is some on Sideshow Freaks, but not on video. So I can't sort of aspire to be best reviewer out there or one of if I'm not telling information that I myself would want to know if I were watching somebody else's review. So before it went to Germany, I do want to show them together side by side, and just to prove a few of my points as well. Quickly looking at it, as you can see from a distance, and I don't know if the light's going to affect this or not, like I basically alluded to, outfit wise, definitely version 1 is for me the correct Lakers colour. I think if I had a Lakers shirt, I would have put it outside, and I think it would have been closer. The version 2 looks more washed out. But the scale on the version 2 is better. I think what they've done is, well, I think they've done two things. I think they've given us a version 1 and version 2 for two reasons. One, to try and improve on the things that they thought they went majorly wrong on the version 1, but also to give us an older looking Kobe, and I'll try and prove you that as well here. So like I said, the colour on the version 1 is the better. No two ways about it. The scale of the outfit on the 2 is better. But like I said, so it's which do you want? It is a slightly different kit, as you can see. There's no purple trimming coming down there. There is on this one. So I think this is a newer, like a later season kit. Moving down as well, the sneakers that come with a version 1. Neither pair, unless you get the Adidas, the silver Adidas ones, which were an optional extra, the standard pairs on the version 1 are nowhere near as good as the version 2. They just want a grey looking Nike tick on the side and they'd be authentic. So yeah, the trainers on the version 2 are better. The body on the version 2 is definitely better. They've closed up the gaps. They've sort of took away the notable screw holes sort of there and at back there. They've sort of took them away. So that is a slight improvement. Obviously you don't get them on back at arms on this one. So they changed the body. I think they sort of started releasing the other NBA figures and thought, right, we better go back, do Kobe again, and sort of improve on where we went wrong. So that is your major differences. I never realised, I'll be honest, obviously the stand on the version 2 is better than the version 1. The plain black stand for a basketball figure just does not work. You've got to have the flexible deluxe stand sort of thing. So yeah, that is obviously that's easy to say. Now, the other thing I was going to say is I never knew until I received the second one in hand that there were different head sculpts, and this is what leads me to think that this is a sort of a Kobe round the time he was playing with Shaq, and this is this season's Kobe. This is what I'm thinking. I will also stick to my thoughts that the version 1 smiling Kobe is the best of all 4 head sculpts you could get. Even better than the newer one for me. Obviously you see the hairline more on the version 1. He's younger. I just think that one is 100% Kobe. I think the version 2 is pretty good, but I just still prefer the version 1. And people might say, well, why don't you keep that head sculpt yourself? The reason is I wouldn't want to get a mix and match Kobe fruit post, so I would never do that to anybody else. I wouldn't want to keep the best bits or the favourite bits from one and then sell the rest to someone else. So as I say, that's the version 2 in my hand, and that's the version 1. And I do think that is the best Kobe head sculpt out there. I don't think that's bad. I think it's really good, as you've seen when I scored it. but it's not as good as that. The serious head, or the scowling head, or game face, whatever you want to call it, this time I think the version 2 is just a little bit better. I think the paintwork is definitely better. Again, the air fade sort of thing is more notable on the version 1. I think the teeth looks better on the version 2, and possibly the lips. And I think that's what makes the version 2 game face Kobe better than the version 1 game face. But like I said, of the 4 head sculpts that you could possibly get, I personally think the smiling version 1 head is the best Kobe out there. But like I said, short interlude. Now I get back to the review. I'd like to know your thoughts actually on that, even if you're not a fan of these figures. Just tell me if you think I'm right on what I've said. The version 1 is better in some cases, the version 2 is better in others. The reason I'm keeping the version 2 is because the stand that came with it fits more in line with the display I'll show you at the end. Right, rolling on to articulation, and the only real limits with this figure is what your mind can come up with. Either check out some pictures or just play with it if you want, whatever, but you can come up with, I don't know, graceful poses, power poses, forward dunks, reversal like this one, I don't know, clincher, 3-point shots, whatever, two-handed dunks, whatever your mind can come up with, it can pretty much do it. Now, I criticise the version 1 body a little bit because of the sort of ugly seams, or the open joint, should I say, not the ugly seams, because the seams have got to be there. The ugly joints, I think they pretty much repaired it on this. They are still there, but the joins are just so much better. I'll try and get around the figure without fucking it up. Like the other one, when you pull this shoulder down so far, like a section of his shoulder had come out with it. This one, it's not so much, it fits pretty tight, and the rubber seems to mould round. I mean, I'm going pretty extreme pose here, and obviously I could tidy it up even more so than that. Like the knee joint, although it is there, they were like a 2mm gap on the version 1. The skin texture is more even on this one. They've improved the body a lot more than I thought they had. I didn't even realise really they'd done that much to it. The articulation in the ankles is stiff so he can stand up, but you can pretty much twist them, rock them backwards and forwards, do what you want with his feet. So really good, just an improvement all round. It's smooth but tight. It'll go to any basketball pose I've tried. Like I said, they're pretty much the same bodies now as them. I'll show you them in depth in a minute. So it's pretty much just what you want them doing. You can just move them around, and the stand helps really well. So I've bumped the articulation up. I think I give the version 1 3 out of 5. This one I'm going to give a 4, just because the joints aren't really different, but they're just cleaner looking. They've just improved the body. The neck, the head pops on and off really easy. Same with the hands. Not had a problem getting the shoes off when I wanted to try the other shoes that I kept. Like I say, joints tight and smooth, don't feel like they're going to break. So yeah, really liking it. Just improvement on the body, and I suppose that's why they've done a second version of a figure that they only released like a year, maybe 2 years ago. So that clears that up a little bit. So like I said, on the articulation, I have given it a 4 out of 5. I do like that pose as well, graceful, could be a ballet dancer. Rolling on to extras, and I'm also going to do the value and the total score here, so I'll try and talk fast. Extras wise, obviously comes with the ball, the figure, the outfit, the game face. Moving down, the massive extra that I really wanted and needed was the dynamic base, so we're in line with the LeBron and the Michael Jordan. Obviously that's an improvement straight away on the original version, because that only came with a black stand, which just weren't good enough. So the improvements they made sort of make the figure, I would say a better all-round figure, but like I said, probably not the best head sculpt available. It does bring the championship trophy. I kept the silver Olympic Adidas just as an option, so obviously that didn't come with it, so I can't take them into account. The smiling sculpt, which like I said I really like, but I do prefer the one that's on the figure. and then a selection of hands. You've got the relaxed right and left, fisted right and left. You've got sort of a three-throw shooting hand, a pointing right hand, and then here a catching right hand. The catching left hand is on the figure. All the hands really well done. No point going into that because they always are. The magnetic left and right with a magnet inside the palm which grabs the ball. So I think on the version 1 I gave the extras a 4, I think, because of the head sculpt. I'm not sure, I can't remember what I did it. Maybe a 3. I can't really remember. Anyway, this one obviously didn't bring 2 pair of trainers. The other one did. This one brings a better stand. They both brought 2 head sculpts. Like I said, I do like that one, the one that's on it, and I do like the smiley one from the version 1. I made that clear. The hands I think are pretty much just recast and repainted. The trophy is pretty nicely done. Doesn't appear a lot of extras, but I've always said before, if a figure brings a spare head, it's a lot in my mind because it changes up your pose options. The dynamic stand pretty much is a necessity for this figure. And the only thing that I could really think of that I would have wanted is probably a changed kit. Either the white one or the purple one. There's a guy actually on Sideshow Freaks, and I wish I'd fucking done my own work and remembered his name. He makes sort of his own kits for these figures, and I've got to say they do look good. To say that he has done them himself, it might be an option to try and pick a couple up, or maybe get a couple and review them for him. But the kits he's been making look really good. He does them for all the figures. So if there's a particular figure out but you don't want it in that outfit, you can change the outfit. I'm not sure what he charges, I'd have to ask him. But yeah, and I wish I could remember his name. Sorry pal, if you do watch this review, I can't remember your name, but I'll try and highlight the fact that you are on Sideshow Freaks. If you go to the LeBron thread or the Kobe thread or Michael Jordan thread, you will find him there making kits like chain strips, the purple ones, the black ones, and so on and so forth, and does a really good job from what I've seen. So to get a score on the extras, I am going to give it a 4, simply or mainly because the head sculpt and the base. I think if it had been an Hot Toys and it had brought both, I would have given it a good score. So I am going to give it a 4 out of 5. Value, this is where this one, it's a shitstorm. The first one I bought for £110 for the figure, £12 shipped. This one I bought directly from Enterbay, and it was about £160 shipped. So there's a massive difference for the fact that I've basically just bought an updated version with a different stand. Have I paid over odds? I would say so, because I would have preferred them to be about 120, 130, but you pretty much, the price is the price, you pay it or you don't. And I did. Like I said, I wanted it to finish a theme I'd got in my mind, what I would refer to as, I don't know, the passing of the buck in basketball from Jordan to Kobe to LeBron. That was the theme I was going for, and also a set of figures that I could pose slightly differently to anything else I got. So yeah, that's why I got them. And I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but at the end of the day, I do like having a lot of subscribers, and I do like getting a lot of comments, but at the end of the day, it's my collection. I can't collect for anybody else. So like I say, you either watch it or you don't, you support or you don't, and that's all I can say really on that. So the value, obviously it cost a lot more. I'm not even thinking about moving it on. I would think if I did, I wouldn't get the money back, simply because the trading groups on Facebook, which have pretty much turned out to be a total washout and a load of bullshit. They're full of fucking arsehole members and administrators, to be honest. I don't know, left a sour taste in my mouth. And I've got to be honest, not only the guy who I was fucking falling out with, who pretty much turned out to be a prick, I hope he watches, because then he'll know I think he is a fucking prick. And also a lot of other people who knew me from community who could have said, hold on a minute, this is a situation, I think it's wrong. I think Rick has done stuff for this community or for this group or trading groups in general on Facebook, because I didn't hear anybody talking about them until I mentioned them in videos. I'm not bigging myself up, but that is just fact. And I think a few people could have come out and said, look, I don't 100% agree with what Rick's saying or what his issue is, but at the end of the day, he has done stuff for the community, and not many did that, and I was very, very disappointed, and some people will be remembered. But like I said, I don't want to rant on that. So yeah, like I said, the version 1 were hard to move on. I've sold it through eBay now, so I think by the time I pay my eBay charges, I'll probably be about 15 quid down on the first version, but I'm not too bothered because I've already paid for this one anyway, so it weren't I needed to sell the other one to buy this. It weren't a case of that. I just didn't want two similar figures in the collection. So the value, I'm only going to get a 3 because it's a good value to me, but I know it's not going to go through roof. In fact, it won't go through roof. It'll definitely come down, but that's name it game, I suppose, if you want figures that not everybody else fucking wants to collect, and some of the community sheep don't just want everything that you've got, sort of thing. So, but I don't know. That gives a total score of a 27 out of a possible 35, which again is a really respectable score for a figure that I know everybody won't get, like I've just said. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with them all. I am going to cut from this into a display with all 3 in. Not much more I can say. I know I'm missing some, but I'm going to fade out and I'm going to fade to what else I wanted to show you. Like I said, scores wise, I've given it a 27 and a possible 35. Right, so just to end, like I've said before many times, when I'm collecting figures, I don't always collect the hot new stuff. I'll go back and find other stuff, or I'll buy 2 figures from a similar line because I've got a display in mind. And pretty much, I've just sort of closing an NBA chapter in my channel. I've got the 3 figures that I wanted, the versions I wanted, basically to make a display that I've had in my mind for quite a while, which would kind of, I don't know if you would call it generations or whatever, but it was different to what I'd got in the collection. And I basically just wanted to show an NBA timeline sort of thing. So obviously got, as I've said in the reviews, as many as would most would consider the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan. I got the version of that I wanted, obviously the Red 23. And then I think he passed the torch on to Kobe Bryant, in my opinion. I got the version 2 Kobe, which were the one I was looking for. And then obviously the new king of the court, the LeBron James, playing for Miami Heat. I might not always leave them posed like that. I think your pose options are endless with these basketballs. It's just a matter of going onto like your Google search, typing in LeBron James action pose and just find something, replicate it, display it. You can have them stood, smiling faces, or displaying the trophies or whatever, or you can have them in the sort of slam dunk poses I've gone for here. Pretty much gone for the Jordan in his sort of standard Jordan symbol pose, or a movement that would lead to that. Kobe in the two-handed slam dunk as he's going up, and then the LeBron, sort of the definition of power, just coming over, one-handed, just about to dunk himself. So basically, like I said, thanks to all those people who have watched all the reviews on my NBA figures. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but the loyal fans will put out anything that you review. The others, the sort of fleeting fans or fleeting friends or whatever you want to call them, they'll pick and choose what they want to watch from you, or they'll try and dictate to you what you should get next or whatever. But like I say, your loyal fans will watch anything you put out and comment and like and so on and so forth. But like I said, that's my reviews up to date. From my own figures, probably still got one coming that of a figure that Wyman's lending me, depending on when he needs it back. But for now, it's the Clipper King Brothers, and I'm out of here.